What's up YouTube? Today we are going to shoot a cinematic fitness video, and for this project I'm going to use the newly released COLBOR CL220 light. And this is a new light by COLBOR which is really amazing. This is a powerful light and yet lightweight. And other than that, we are going to use the CL60 as my secondary light. This new light has so many great features which I'm going to explain while doing the project. And no more talking, let's go and start this project. It's a really complicated one. This is the first time I'm going to use so many lights in a video, and I hope we achieve something great. So let's go. Now I'm going to turn on the light here. The good thing about this light is that we can control it with our smartphone, and right now I'm going to change the settings of the light. Now I have to set up my other lights. I'm going to use that famous orange and teal. This one orange and other one. Now we have another light here, the CL60. I'm going to use it as a rim light. Now we want to turn off the lights of the gym and only use these lights to create a dramatic effect. So let me take the camera, and my friend will take the behind the scenes. So we are making so much smoke here to make it dramatic. I've set up only one light for this shot, for the starting shot, and now let's start the filming. So I used the Sony A7IV for this project, and here I was using the Sigma 24mm lens for this shot, and I decided to go with one light to make it more dramatic for the first scene. And as you see here, I am shooting from the dark side to give it a more 3D look. And the video was shot in S-Log3 profile, and here you can see the before and after. And for the next plan I decided to go handheld in order to do an in-camera transition with the next plan. And as you see here, we completed the transition here, and here you can see the before and after, the color grading in DaVinci Resolve. Again, I decided to go handheld, and for this shot I used the COLBOR CL220 as my main light, and I used the CL60 with a reflector at the behind of the model to give it a more 3D look. And again, for the next plans we moved to the downstairs to start the training, and as you see here, he is closing the wristband. And I shot this plan on Gimbal with the FPV mode, and here you are seeing the behind the scenes of my hands, but I decided to go with the gimbal, and as you see, the shot was really perfect on the FPV mode of DJI RS2. And for the next plan here, again I put the two RGB lights at the side, and I went with just one light. Again, from the dark side, I'm shooting from the dark side to make it more 3D. I used the CL220, and as you see, it gave a dramatic look with this lighting setup. And here you can see the before and after in DaVinci Resolve. And again, for this plan I decided to use the effect mode of the light, and as you see, it is on pulsing mode. You can change the settings of the light with the smartphone app. You can change the temperature, the power, and also the frequency. And here you can see it gave so much drama to the scene, and here you can see the result. And the color grading, I decided to do a punchy look for this color grading. And for the next plan, I decided to make so much smoke, and the athlete was coming out of the smoke to take the dumbbells, and I put the RGB lights at the side, and as you see here, the result. And the color grading, it gave it so much drama with the orange and teal. And here again I decided to go with the handheld shot, and you can see the results in a few seconds. And here is the result again with the before and after of the color grading. It made it so dramatic. And again, another handheld shot to give the plan so much excitement and more energy. And here you can see the results in a few seconds with the before and after. And sorry about the flicker, my assistant put the behind the scenes camera on SNQ mode, and here I decided to do a voiceover on the behind the scenes video. And here for the last sequence I decided to do a pushback with the gimbal, and the lighting was placed at the 45-degree behind the model to give it a 3D look, and I used a smoke, and as you see the result is really perfect and beautiful. Now let's take a quick look at the color grading process of this project. It was shot in S-Log3 and color graded in DaVinci Resolve, and as you see here, this is the before and after of this video. It was not really complicated. As you see, there are minimal notes, and because the lighting condition was really perfect here, I didn't need to change so many things here. So in order to start the color grading of this project, I just changed the color management to the DaVinci Wide Gamut Intermediate, the timeline color space, in order to work in the wide gamut zone. And in order to use this method, you just need to create two nodes, one at the first, the color space transform, and one at the end, the color space transform out. And for the first node, you add a color space transform with the input color space S-Gamut3 and the gamma S-Log3, because the video was shot in S-Log3 with the A7IV. And for the output color space, you set it to DaVinci Wide Gamut, and the output gamma to DaVinci Wide Intermediate. Sorry, the DaVinci Intermediate. And from the next node, as you see here, we are here at the DaVinci Wide Gamut zone. We are working at that zone, and we have much more flexibility, and this is why it is good. And at the end again, we add another color space transform, and for the input color space we set it to DaVinci Wide Gamut, because here we were working in DaVinci Wide Gamut, and the input gamma is DaVinci Intermediate. And for the output color space, this is the last node, and we want to export the video for the YouTube or Instagram, and the color space for those social media is Rec 709. So we set the output color space and the output gamma to the Rec 709. And if I disable all the nodes and enable the first CST and the last CST, you can see we have a proper transformation to the Rec 709. And after that, I did the primaries, and as you see, it made a lot of difference. I decreased the lift to -6 and just increased the gamma to 6 to make it more pop in the midtones, and just added a little bit of gain, not so much because we had bright whites and we didn't need any more contrast in the white section. And the key part here was the midtone detail. Remember that, guys, with the midtone detail you can add so much pop to the muscles in fitness videos, and I really like the effect it gives. And you can also go further to 100, maximize it, but I was pretty happy with 50, and I liked the 50, and here was the midtone detail. And other than that, in the HDR node, I decreased the temperature and made it more cooler, and just shifted the tint a little bit, and just this for the primaries node. And after that, for the hue node, as you see, I changed the hue of the blue light to make it more teal, as you see here, and to give it a more orange and teal look. And the look node here, we have look adjustment. As you see, again, I made the video towards the cooler side and made it more cooler because I liked it this way. And you can see I just changed the color bars a little bit, the gain, and a little bit of gamma and lift, just decrease the reds. And if you pay attention to the palette, you can see that we have decreased the reds in the shadows, and the video is cooler in the shadows, and I like the effect. And after that, I just added a little bit of vignette to make the subject pop more in the center of the video, and just this, so simple. And another node in the timeline, this is the sharpening node. I add a little bit of sharpening. This is a timeline node, which means it affects all the videos what you apply here, and it is really nice that you can apply one effect to all the videos when you need it. So this is the color grading of this project. It was not really complicated, so simple.